Mayapur Academy has got why
Their
the vision,
mandate or
yeah, the
something like
vision,
that. Yes.
why we exist, the
Mhm.
rationale for our existence, you see.
Mhm.
So one of them was this, to have this quality training of pujaris in terms of the values. See, so far the skills are concerned, of course our course looks very colorful because we have got a lot of skill sets out there. Yes, but those skill sets you can, so far as India is concerned, you can just go down the alley and
And
found
learn it.
and learn it in any temple. You can, like, with some variations, you can. Comes the real thing. Why are we learning like what we are learning?
In what mood should we learn
Yeah.
what we are
So
learning?
that's the purpose, like
Interesting.
how to become Krishna conscious, how to imbibe those values which endears Krishna to us.
Okay.
S-
And this course is based on uh, uh, what is it based on? Like, where do you draw your knowledge from?
Of course, certainly, like all the one of the longest duration course, apart from the temple worship, which shows you the real archana, because it gives such value and weightage to this course. So after that, see, a pujari, like generally, how does this course came into being? It's like that, like give you some insight. So when we have got pujaris, and the general idea of that Prabhupada said that we don't want this two paisa, Brahman thread wearing pujaris having no values, doesn't know how to take care of Krishna. So not just how to take care of Krishna, why to take care of Krishna, and who is Krishna. So the Brahminical aspect, without which it becomes more like a very, how is it any different from an artisan? You see, so it's just an artisan then. So that Brahmana is when have his this 26 qualities of the devotee. One of the standout feature of this course, as you said, like okay, fine for the pitch, is that of all the education systems, I have seen quality of a Brahmana, and I can put it as a challenge that in 3 weeks time, it gives you an idea how can you develop those qualities.
Interesting.
Yeah, like just pick anyone and we'll teach
Chanting
you.
Gayatri.
Okay, okay, chanting Gayatri. Yeah,
That must be a Brahminical quality.
yeah,
We have a separate course of
that's a
that.
whole course on
Really?
that.
Yeah, and
Okay.
he's the one
And
who's
and
teaching.
you have a Gayatri course as
Yeah,
well.
as well. That's another. Yeah, but I'm quite serious. I'm picking up on that, and
Please
I'm
do.
telling you that AceCon right now, like for all like it's a fact, and like the sad state of it is like you don't discuss that because it's like too much on your honor, too much on your on your vows. But the fact of the matter is everything requires training.
And good association to be able to discuss.
It's also part of that, like actually the Gayatri course branched out from this Brahminical culture and ethics and found a
I see.
separate, one like thing that you can take away and will never forget is how to develop equality.
Some more of it. Prabhupada did, Srila Prabhupada.
Everybody to the spiritual standard, what the institution is meant for.
Thank you very much. That was very illuminating, actually. Thank you very much. I have a further question for you. I understand also that you are in charge of teaching, or you have certain seva delegated for the Bengali devotees.
Yeah.
And a question I would put to you is, what is that whole experience like? Is there any difference? Anything you'd like to share on that point?
Yeah, that's quite interesting question actually. See, we developed this regional courses because our the vision.
Okay.
We also came up with Hindi course, and the same diploma course, international course, is also run along with Russian translation also. That's also like
It cannot change.
It
And
cannot
there's no
change.
need
It cannot.
for it
Yeah,
to.
it cannot even like it cannot be compromised for an inch because ultimately it's going to Krishna.
Yes.
The kind of pujaris we are sending to the altar, that's the bottom line question. Many times you'll find it very interesting. Sometimes, like our teachers, they are faced with a challenge that can we pass this student or we can't. And the cardinal question would be, would 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 this devotee can this devotee be allowed to go on that altar and serve Radha Madhav?
I'll fail.
That's the question. If he think that yes he can go, he's a pass.
Hands down. Like what I asked from Kurma Prabhu and Haribalavi Mataji, is there any one tip or advice or any aspect that you would like to put out to our audience there who are listening and something that they can take away into their own homes? What would be a tip or a really golden nugget of knowledge that you would like to flick your way to the audience? What would you share? What would you summarize, something to take away?
Go beyond this theoretical knowledge of Krishna being a person and use your body to serve Krishna, the deity form. Unless until you touch Krishna, unless until you touch a person, it's very difficult to make a tangible relationship with him.
What is the first step you would advise someone to go on that path?
Worship Krishna.
More
Do
doing.
it. Yeah, just go ahead and do it.
Wonderful.
Don't
Thank you very much.
don't philosophize. Just go and do it.
Thank you. I will bring over discussion to our wonderful dean. I'm back again, Mata. So I do understand that you also teach courses, but you are, I guess, the mama bird of the academy.
No, we have Kurma Chaitanya Prabhu also. He has been the longest member.
I see.
Yeah.
What is it like? And I guess I want to get a little bit more into the background scenes of it all. What is it like managing all of this? How do you manage? What do you manage? Feel operating the machinery of all of this staff and this and that and the other. Like, what go? Because I, as a student, I just show up and go, it's 3 p.m. It's time for my class. What effort goes into organizing all of this for the students?
First and easier. I mean, be it our admin staff or the teaching faculties, they were all our, since they were previous students, it's of what is being required, and be it in terms of knowledge, skills, or values, what has been expected of being a teacher or a faculty or staff. So that makes it, I would say, much easier for. Yeah.
Wonderful. And as the head or as one of the leaders of the academy, what is a day-to-day life like for you managing? What do you do?
I mean, each day is different, I would say, because, because even if you look at our courses, it's not the same, it's like as Prabhu was mentioned, it's colorful. There are many different units running. So each unit or each course requires a certain aspect or a kind of setting and setup and things like that, because it's quite different than how a theoretical class would run, because it's just with the teacher, like he or she prepares and they just come and give the
teach the
class,
class.
and that's about it. But here it's not just about the teacher, because we need a practical setup, so it's just not ends up with the teacher. We need to have the assistant staff, or as we are running. So like say for the turban making or the dressing unit or the jewelry, we need to line up and set up it according to the students. And if some students just show up last moment, it's kind of very difficult for us to like
fail.
for us to
I understand. Makes sense.
yeah. So those kind of things, yeah.
So I assume you deal with all. Do you deal with all supply for everything also? Like that's
That the teacher sends us the
like
requirements,
a request, and then you
we,
disperse it out.
yeah, then the admin team actually takes care of it.
Okay, that's fine. And on top of all of this, you're also teaching.
Yeah.
What do you teach?
Temple worship
Okay,
on festival units,
interesting.
and
What does that mean?
like in ISKCON we have festivals. Every other day there's a festival. So it's a
So you're a
unit
very
that
busy lady, because every day is a festival around here. Gorpanim in a festival for the past month.
yeah, it's been 1 month long. So yeah, basically, what festivals mean and why do we celebrate, how do we celebrate, and what are the different aspects, and those things. And the most I would say fascinating part of a festival is Abhishek. So how to perform the Abhishek. So that's like the main to participate. They get to do the actual Mahabhishek process, like the full Mahabhishek. Yeah.
And do you teach them at what time to get the charnamrita when it's still sweet?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I really want to learn that one because I usually get it in just water and ghee. You know, you see, there's always something for everyone here. I wouldn't be a very helpful student, but that's wonderful. That's wonderful, Mataji. Thank
Yeah.
you very much. And I will circle back last to Hari Balavi Mataji before we open up the discussion and close off our interview here. One of the other courses that I heard that you teach is the Tulsi worship or Tulsi care.
Yes.
Is there? Do you want to tell me a little bit more about that?
So when we start with the Tulsi care, it is a lot of knowledge aspects, shipping Tulsi, her eternal identity and all that. And then we get on to practical aspect of it. And this year what we did is we gave each of the students their individual Tulsi to take care of. And the course was spread throughout 4 months. It wasn't like one unit you teach and you finish. It wasn't like that. It was spread over 4 months. And like they could see what problems they are coming up with while taking care of Tulsi Devi, and then we could address it at that time. Like the pot is small and the Tulsi has grown very big, then how to repot it, or there are some bugs coming in on Tulsi Devi, then how to address it, how to treat Tulsi Devi. So there were various aspects, and I thought that it was very hands-on learning for them.
Yeah, very. So, in my own perspective, I've often felt like with Tulsi care, it's so mystical. That's why I kind of wanted to just finalize it off for the students here. A palm. Somebody will look at your palm and say this line means that. Whether you're into palmistry or not, do you feel that Tulsi worship and Tulsi care is a little like that? Because I've often felt that worshipping your Tulsi, being Tulsi Maharani herself, she's a direct reflection of your bhakti. If you're negligent with Krishna, you'll be negligent with your Tulsi, and Tulsi will reflect that exactly. Do you feel there's patterns to learn from just looking at Tulsi as a physical person and to take that into your own bhakti? Is that, or is that just something I'm making up in my head?
No, that is definitely what Prabhupada says, that that your spiritual life can be reflected on how well your Tulsi Devi is flourishing. So yes, that is definitely a
Good thing I
aspect.
have two in case something happens to one, I have the other one.
Yeah, that's not to discourage. Like if your Tulsi dies and it's like, oh my God, my spiritual life is not good. Just plant in one more Tulsi and take care of it. But it definitely helps when you see Tulsi Devi as a person in your home and then treat her accordingly. You chant with her and you circumambulate her every day. You do Tulsi Aarti every day. You can see the results that she'll really flourish. Yes.
It's wonderful. Thank you so much for that. I just wanted to leave on that little point, Tulsi Devi ki jai. So I guess there's a lot, and these are just some of the courses that we've covered here from Mayapur Academy, right? I imagine there's quite a lot more. Would you care to list some of the other ones that you teach? I'll open up the floor for a open discussion here. What's left to learn in Mayapur Academy?
To learn.
In beginning.
Yeah. Because generally, so it's a 16-week
What
course.
does that mean, diploma course?
Yeah, so this is Archana diploma, what we offer, because this Mayapur Academy, it's affiliated to, it's called Deity Worship Ministry.
I see.
So this is, you
It's
see,
very
it's
high
just-
up there.
yeah, this is the state of the art actually. This
Okay.
is state of the art institution. We can safely say, I can Google it and anybody can Google it and find it. Like you won't find it anywhere in to speak of ISKCON or even outside any institution, any temple, any organization. Nobody has got this kind of structured program for how to worship the deities. I think a couple of fortnight ago we had this Mohan Bhagwat. He was there and he was there. I saw photographs. I think with Prabhu, yeah, and they came to see like such an institution. Like nobody can imagine that like here in West Bengal, in the Nadia district, or of all places, and you
Well, it
have
should be
got
here in Mayapur. I don't know where
yeah,
else you're gonna get this kind of
yeah,
knowledge.
because like that's for us. That's
But
for us,
true,
the
yes.
Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Just take it from a layman's perspective. Of all places, it doesn't have. India has got so many big. Okay, why not in Jagannath Puri, say for example? Why not in Ayodhya? So you have all of all the places you have here because Prabhupada wanted it this way, and manifested it with Chanivas Prabhu and Pankaj Angri Prabhu, and it's running. And to be a pujari, like in the word, I'm just quoting Nashin Kavach Pro, Deity Worship Institute, to be a pujari in 16 weeks, it's really a bit of a task.
It's a hell of a deal. Good luck.
So then in this 16 weeks, almost 15 different subjects we cover. Of course, everybody doesn't have the same time span,
Yes,
but it's like the
a lot is
yeah,
covered.
yeah, 15 different subjects.
I understood that they do yagya there also.
Yeah,
They do yagya
that's like
worship.
it's a yagya samskar includes practicum where like the devotees, the students directly go to that altar.
Our main altar.
Yeah, main altar, and they do services there. They do go to the kitchen to do services there. They go to the altar to clean, to worship, to observe worship,
Fantastic.
everything. It's not like just limited to the classroom. And the day starts right like 4 a.m. And sometimes when they are doing like undergoing practice, they might reach their rooms at like 8:30 or 9. Yeah, it's like it's
It's an
really
intense course.
yeah, it's really not to be like they are out of their like since 4 in the morning they're out.
And then there's the teachers.
And of course the teachers are also there, so then they have
I,
to do
I
their
won't
part.
be applying to be
Tiring, it's really exhausting.
fantastic.
But then because it has been designed like that, because the service of the
standard has to
pujari,
be high.
the service of the pujari is actually very laborious. Two fields in ISKCON, nobody wants to like stick their neck into. One is this pujari department and as the kitchen department.
Oh,
The laborious. It's laborious. So
Yes.
service to Krishna is not just like that includes speaking for Krishna, but this other parts are also there. So this is the
Wonderful. Thank you very much. And speaking of that, the Kurma Prabhu, I assume you juggle your service to the temple and teaching as well. How is that for you?
I have my laptop. Multitask.
That's wonderful. Do you also teach like in the mornings, like Prabhu was saying? Do you take your little students, the little chickens, to the temple and back when you're dressing the deities, or is that exclusively?
No, I leave the chickens to the farmer.
And you just come in for the classes at Mayapur Academy?
Yeah, yeah.
That's great. Wow. What would you like to see being added as a course in Mayapur? Sorry, at Mayapur Academy.
Being added as a course. Well, there there are still many things that need to be improved. Not improved, but that the skills that devotees should have, like skills that I don't have. For example, like taking care of Krishna's hair. That is a very important skill. We have ladies that do that, but I think all pujaris should know how to curl the hair
Otherwise, Krishna looks a little roughed
yeah,
up.
yeah, exactly. Garland making is another skill that I know how to string, but these ladies, they go so fast, they can make a whole
Detailed
garland.
stuff too. I've seen beads in there.
And
Maybe that might be your department there
But we
too.
do have
Yeah.
garland making. We
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
different teachers
So-
from the temple who come.
Even
make-
vases we have.
Of course, we have the dress making that goes on.
Yes.
Dress designing is I used to do dress designing previously when we started with the dressmaking facility here in Mayapur. I don't know how they got me to do the dress designing, but somehow I did. I made the red cabbage dress, the blue fish
What?
dress.
Where was I? What's the
and a
red
few other
cabbage dress?
few other dresses before they finally got somebody who actually trained in dressmaking.
No, he made that lotus dress, which had
The petal
those
dress.
petal ones. It had
Revolution.
sequins.
I mean, it's like being
The purple
copied to
one?
all the temples.
Yes,
actually.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
anyway.
not red cabbage.
Yeah, but at that time I had no understanding of art or anything, so it's very, very difficult. That's why I really had to incorporate art into the turban making course, because with turban making you have two aspects. One is the spontaneous, which is kind of like ISKCON, where we want to do things spontaneously, be held back by certain traditions, and there seems to be a certain amount of flexibility there. And because of that, we have to facilitate for that flexibility. At the same time, there are traditions. So with certain temples, they have a certain way of putting on the turbans. If you go to Radharaman in Vrindavan, you'll recognize a Radharaman turban. It's a particular style of turban, and I'm sure that they train their pujaris in these styles. And if somebody came along and put like a waft of cloth and some butterflies or something in there, they would be out.
You're black and blue.
Exactly. So you have to create a balance between the two. So the tradition and that balance, you have to teach some rudimentary art. So that's there.
To give a structure to the...
Consideration, punctuality, cleanliness, being personal with Krishna, all of these things have to be incorporated. So it's not a simple, basket weaving course.
Which would be cool. I would like to learn that, actually. I'm quite into like the semi-natural furnituring look. That would be kind of cool. Thank you very much for that. Mataji, do you want to weigh in on anything? Any reflections you'd like to share?
With Kurma Prabhu, I've seen that he's very conscious about trying to avoid pins. I know there was one discussion he was having where he wanted to have magnetic turban pieces so that you don't use pins.
No,
And
That
you
was
just-
Nishingavacha. He was trying to get me into this.
Magnetic clips.
We have to experiment with it, but I don't like experimenting with Krishna.
Sometimes keep it simple. Just don't poke him, and just be attentive.
Well,
A
Madhava,
pin's been used for thousands of years,
actually, Madhava has a protective,
Cap.
cap. But speaking about pins, I mean the Radharaman temple in Vrindavan, they don't even use any pins. Of course, the deities are much smaller, and it's much easier to hold up pieces when they don't have so much weight. But it would be nice. I mean, 500 years ago, how were they making turbans?
Yeah.
I'm sure they
See,
didn't
500 years from now, we'll be using tape, magnets. This is
Yeah.
the wave of the future.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah.
I will end off. Well, now speaking of the future, I have one final question before we end off our little interview here. Looking forward, as Mayapur Academy is progressing, and with all of the courses and training that the teachers and the academy has in mind, how do you feel you would like to balance out this new social media way? Everything is digital now, Zoom and Skype and e-learning and online this, and how do you feel that Mayapur Academy is adjusting to reflect the students who probably can't reach here, but also like, how is Mayapur Academy planning for the way things are increasingly being digitized? And I will leave that as our last question. If all of you would like to weigh in, that would be great.
We do have online courses. We have been developing we ran actually online home worship, like a simplified worship, and it's almost ready now. It should maybe by end of this year, and it should be out. So we have online home worship, and we have like a online home DD dressing for small DDs, small like 1 foot size DDs, online home DD dressing that we ran like I think couple of maybe 2-3 times. So we started that during the COVID times. So yeah, and we are planning more courses for online for those who can't reach here, because our idea is to give them maximum content online, as much as we can,
And do
and
at their
when they
pace
come
and-
here sometimes, then they can have the hands-on experience as well. But nevertheless, we still have actually planned a lot of online courses, like online Tulsi and online jewelry making course. So that's like our first in priority right now.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mataji, anything you'd like to say about the online world?
Yeah, I think we more opened up to the online thing after the pandemic, where everybody was into online courses. But for us, it was specifically difficult because, it's not like Bhakti Shastri that is just theoretical and you can teach. Like for turban making, you need to have the Deity head in front of you and the cloth and the sponge and the turban pieces. And, only when you're making it hands-on, then you realize that you cannot actually pin the turban pieces. It looks so simple when he's showing it,
It's
but
tricky.
when you actually go to do it, then it's completely different story. So because it's a hands-on course, that was one of the main challenges, but we are trying to work around it, and at least like the things that people can easily get it or are accessible to them, like with jewelry making, they can easily get threads and beads and try to make their own things. So we're planning in that direction.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Do you think this will appeal to the younger generation, being more online? What do you think, Prabhus?
Specifically, that reminded me one area we have some of worked up, like Harivalli Maji is into it. That's like children's deity worship for
very
children's. Yeah, so that's something that really caught up the attention of children and parents, and that's one area online later on because the
Kids
next
can't sit
generation.
still to save your life.
Yeah, they are tech savvy, and that's exactly fits in so to their needs and like what we can teach. So just that marry that thing together. So we are already having on-site courses, children's deity worship, Harivalli Maji is handling
Very
that.
nice.
Now just the next step is that to
Like how to
get them
offer prasada.
everything, like how to offer arti, everything. Yeah, and yeah, you got to see that it's just like yeah, it's so intense, it's so engaging, and at the end of the day, it's so devotional.
That's wonderful. Thank you very much. Prabhu, would you like to weigh in? Like a little news
Nishya
presenter.
Kavacha has been pushing me for this one, but I don't think that we can do accredited, turban making course or dressing course, the actual practical, doing the dressing and everything. But there is a theoretical aspect of art, which can be a course that could be online, and there are certain practical exercises that could be done.
Like as a knowledge base.
Yeah, so certain practical exercises could be done. You could actually, I've made turbans in Photoshop.
Really?
Yeah, I've photographed all the turban pieces and then cut them out, and then you move the turban pieces around, and you can actually make a full turban in Photoshop. So it is possible. It's a little bit clunky, and but it's not the same as actually,
Getting your hands
and making
on the real deal.
Exactly,
Yes.
exactly.
I guess, yes.
I suppose, it might be possible that we could have kits that are sent out by courier, and then they receive a whole package where
Yeah.
they need to practice on the deities as well.
At some point, you have to come to Krishna
You
and
can't-
actually learn. There's only so much Krishna can come to you,
it's-
I guess. I speculate.
Exactly. So if Nishinga Kavat is hearing this,
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you all so much for your answers. I feel very illuminated. I hope our audience watching at any point in the future after this episode or interview would also feel inspired to come to Mayapur Academy, sign up for one of the courses. I see a lot of people coming for the festivals. It's a great time to learn something. You're here for a month or a week or a day. Sign up for a course, join in, which leads me to a little bit of housekeeping questions. If any one of our audience wanted to reach out to Mayapur Academy, is there a website that they can go to? Where do they go?
Yeah, it's www.mayapuracademy.org.
Okay, mypooracademy.org.
And we have both Facebook and Instagram page, so they can
Okay.
follow us.
Well, nobody uses Facebook anymore. But Instagram, I'm joking. Facebook,
Maybe
Instagram.
oldies like us do use
Yeah.
Facebook.
I had a friend saying, "Oh, I was trying to call you on Facebook." I said, Facebook? No, I don't use Facebook. So yes, Myapur Academy and all the details of the courses on mypooracademy.org. Any other access information? I heard that this just came to me now. That people who watch this interview will get 50% off on all the courses. Is that the fact, or there'll be special discounts for the host?
Where do you get the information
I
from?
think Paramatma just told me.
We have shortened courses for them.
Very short. Thank you all very much. Thank you all for putting up with me as well as a very silly host. I thank the audience for your time in watching this interview. Please make sure, and I know it sounds very something you hear all the time, but please do like, subscribe, and share this channel with everyone around you who may be interested in learning about these courses or just Mayapur in general. We do thank Mayapur TV for letting comments below or directly reach out via the website. So thank you all very much for your time.
Thank you.
Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai.
Thank you.
Right.
Hare